Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that many of you have been waiting for a very long time. I brought it up many times on this show. I talked about this man, I referenced this man, and now he's here. This is the one and only Mike. This is not Mike the Barber. You may have noticed. This is a different Mike. This is the Mike. Mikey goes by many names, maybe Michael. I might call him several of those names tonight. This is probably my very first, if not one of the first 4 childhood best friends I ever had. I know you 20 years at this point, just about 20 years.
Yeah.
I met you around 8, maybe 7.
Mm-hmm.
This is my dear friend Mike. Please say hello to our very large audience.
Hi, everybody. I'm one of you. Definitely. How's it going?
Mike is a fan of the show,
I am.
and now he's here. And we are going to get into things in a way that's so unique that some of you might feel nostalgic. Just seeing 2 friends reconnect after a life of turmoil. We've been through a lot of shit, okay? And we deserve money for it. We deserve a lot, actually, for what we... Yes.
All right.
And we're going to unpack it here. And along the way, there were some laughs. There were some fun times. But we all got old. Me and Mike are very old. We thought we'd live forever. We thought we'd be listening to Motley Crue in his basement forever. But we're not. We go to work now, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into how that happened and why it's going to happen to all of you. But before we do, let's talk about how this started. And like all good stories, it started with killing bugs during baseball practice.
That is true.
I met you, Little League, maybe before. It might have been before Little League, whatever that was.
Yeah.
T-ball? I don't know. And all the other kids were worried about their equipment and talking to their grandparents and saying, good game. And we were just looking at these caterpillars, and we decided they had to die.
It was mostly you. That's why.
I don't know about
He was murdering them.
I wasn't.
Unfortunately.
I thought.
And I was laughing at it, and that fueled him, and that's what started the friendship, basically.
We said, you want to be best friends? You're like, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what happened.
You know where that was? That was the baseball field in Blakely, all the way up to the top of the hill. What was that? You remember
the falls are up there. The Blakely Falls are up there, and
yes.
it's called something. And I can't remember what it's called, and it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But it was.
They're not going to know.
Hay-Ban? No, that's another one.
Hay-Ban's out the
That's
bottom.
where we blew up the porta potty.
All right, we're just putting it out there.
It's over. Expo Stockton. It's been 10 years. Go to hell. If you're going to try to charge us now. And by blow up, we mean Taco Bell diarrhea.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a turn of phrase. You uncultured swines.
Not bombs.
Yes, not firecrackers from the Planet Fitness tent.
I got free stuff there.
Me too. It's easy. When they turn around, you just take it.
All right, that's not what I meant. But all right, continue.
Kidding. So we met then. And then as we got older, we lived near each other. We were a block away, essentially. You lived in a nice development, and I lived on Main Street, which was like, there was like car accidents and bars and funeral homes next to my house. You lived in a nice house. When we went over your house, it was like nice. We're like, wow, that's nice. So we started becoming friends. We'd go over each other's houses, and somehow or another, we expressed our obscure and weird love for classic rock.
Yeah.
That our parents probably gifted us. It's one of the best things our parents gave us.
It's probably the only thing.
Well, our devilish good looks.
It's probably the only thing.
Yeah. AC/DC.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for that. So we did have that in common. And around the same time, as the viewers know, I obtained a bass guitar from a yard sale. From
Black Fender Squire, wasn't it?
I think it was red. The first one was red.
The first one was red.
And it was, the action was horrible on it. And it came with an amp. And I don't remember your first guitar. I want to say it was like an SG.
Epiphone,
SG copy. It was like Epiphone. Yeah. And we had that moment all over again. It was like stepbrothers. We're like, you play guitar? I play bass. It's like, we should jam. And like, I don't know if people understand this, because the world is so crazy with everything has to mean something. And like, some mom makes a kid a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it's content, and everything is obscure and weird. But let me just tell you the feeling, because we don't talk about feelings anymore. The feeling when we first jammed together and it was the same notes and it felt like a song is something every kid should probably experience. And you're probably not gonna, because you're playing Fortnite and eating nuggies, and you're probably not jamming with your friends after massacring caterpillars, but you can only aspire to have the experience we had in the golden age. Because there was no phones. We didn't have phones. Your number in my phone, it was Mike's cell for a long time because I had Mike's house. And I used to call. We're going to get into mommy and daddy later. But I used to call, and whoever picked up, whoever I heard speak, I was like, "Hi, can Mike come out and play?" Like, and that was our life.
I remember that.
Like, let me see. And you were like, "No, I'm sleeping. Go to hell." I remember that always. And I'm like, "Well, wake him up." And we would have.
It happens.
So we started that so early, and then baseball, believe it or not, for us wasn't long lived. We didn't really. We let's say we didn't go all the way with that. I don't know if you could tell. We're not really.
No, we weren't. We weren't crazy.
No, we were no Babe Ruth or whoever else plays.
Well,
I couldn't even.
For yourself.
You kind of look like Babe.
I am a babe.
You kind of look like Babe.
Metaphorically, I kind of am.
And a lot of girls call you Babe.
I think they're just dyslexic.
And let me mention, Mike did buy the Bush Heavy tonight.
He said buy Bush. So and everybody knows it is Bush. He didn't say Bush Light. He just said buy Bush. But I did what he asked.
This is not 1980. It's light beer. It's light beer.
You tell me what you want, and I'll get it.
So if I said get Miller, you would get Miller High Life or Genuine Draft?
Genuine Draft?
You would never. You get Miller Light.
I'm a genuine guy. You got to get genuine.
A genuine guy. You're a Bud Light guy.
Or no, I'm more of a honestly Yingling Flights are my new wave. Other than liquor. Liquor's my first choice, no matter what.
Liquor. We played baseball, short-lived dream. We were no Barry Bonds. But we did continue jamming for quite a while. We played together in your basement after football games over the Valley View Stadium. We would go. We would not watch a second of the game.
No.
We'd walk around. I was always a businessman. Mike knows that. Mike called me out for being very terrible in my craft for many years. He hated my business transactions.
Yeah, because you would upsell me. Someone who was like your best friend, you would upsell me, and I'm like, come on.
A sale is a sale. There's no friends in business. No, I'm just kidding.
I get it. He has moved on from that life.
I Venmo'd Mike money for this beer.
He didn't have to.
And I didn't have to, which is, progress.
Sure.
But we were doing the football games, and then we would go back, and this was always a fun memory. I got to bring up mommy and daddy. This is like nostalgia.
Yeah.
We would be in the basement, maybe jam, and who knows, bass, guitar. You had a drum set at one time.
I did.
And your parents, who were madly in love at the time, would come home very drunk. They were very drunk, and they would want to play. Your dad would say, "Give me those. I'm Neil Peart. Move over."
Neil Peart.
And your mom would be like, "This is Fleetwood Mac," and it was like us playing like nothing. She'd be like, "I know this song."
Yeah.
And that is Lori, and we love Lori.
It was gibberish at the time.
It was gibberish at the time. Little did they know we were emptying their liquor bottles and filling it with water.
Completely, too.
We were doing that.
At first, it was a little bit different, though, because at first I would take a little bit out, and then you replace it with water so they don't notice it. But then you're like, oh, they didn't notice it. Let me get the whole fucking thing and just put all water in.
Yeah, that's why criminals get caught. They get away with it once or twice, and they get greedy, and that's what happened with us.
Life lesson.
Don't get greedy.
Don't do it.
Don't get greedy. If you learn anything from this show, don't get greedy. You know that? So with that being said, that was our nights for a while. We were living a great life. We got picked up by the bus. We got driven to school. We didn't care. We were just thinking about rock and roll and shit. And another thing me and Mike bonded over during our adolescence was stage crew.
Yeah.
Now, Matt Jenks was on the show. We could say a lot about Matt Jenks. We love him dearly. He was the leader of stage crew as a student leader under Joe Joyce. Shout out. And we joined, and we were building the sets and moving the sets backstage, and it was fun. We did it every night. So we spent a lot of time together. You spend that much time with someone, you get to know them.
Yeah.
Me and Mike know each other very well, a little bit better than most. At one point, it felt like me and Mike were like Bert and Ernie, like getting on each other's nerves. We would get on each other's nerves, and I think that's why we clashed a lot through our life, because we're very close.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's my brother.
Yeah.
So we got in many different stupid fights. But the one thing that holds true, all you people out there, is we always come right back. It's like no matter what happens, I could call him and he would answer.
Are you talking about the one time before stage crew?
I punched you in the face on the bus. That was an accident.
I had a bad day at school. Probably was asked to write a couple words on a piece of paper, and I was just stubborn. So I had a bad day, and he wanted to sit with me, and I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Too much to ask? Move over.
At the time, it was too much to ask, but I wouldn't let him. So he hit me.
I did.
He hit me.
I got in trouble.
And then we sat down. I didn't talk to him the whole way home. And then he asked me, or no, I texted you. I'm like, you still picking me up from stage crew? And you're like, yeah, I'll be there in 5. And that was that.
And it was my mother in her Hyundai Elantra.
Yeah.
In which I had an app at the time, because you kids don't know, there was no smartphones really. You had like crude phones back then. And I had this like bass booster app. Do you remember that? And I would blow out her speakers to Motley Crue.
No.
Like, stop it. And we would laugh the whole way. Like, hopefully, well, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think she's going to get mad? Hopefully. That's how we were. And only recently, maybe, have we matured a little. But that was kind of our life. Now, let's fast forward. I go to college to get an art degree. Mike didn't. You worked many different jobs. We're going to get into them. But somewhere around the end of college and before COVID, we reconnect and start jamming again like crazy. And we actually start to create original music.
I feel like before we reconnected, though, we kind of took it more seriously to the fact. I mean, when we were still in school, we took it seriously, but like it's like our creative minds were off on our own, and we learned a lot about set instruments and stuff like that. And then when we met back up, it's like, all right, now we have all this knowledge on music and stuff like that, and that's when it just took off from there.
And granted, I completely skipped over something because we already talked about it before. In high school, we were in a legitimate band. Like, let's not jump over that. We were in triple fret. Yeah. We were playing gigs that we were not even remotely qualified to do. We were living the American dream.
We pulled it off, though.
We did. Like, we were playing bars, and we were like 15, 16 years old. I didn't even have a license. I had a permit, I think. These were the best times of our lives when you think about like an American rock star dream. And we didn't even know what we were doing. At the time, we didn't know. We just believed it was something big. You know, we didn't realize what was going to happen.
No.
And we didn't want to. So keep that in mind. We were already in a band that played out quite a bit and knew the interworkings of a band and how certain people, change mindsets. So with that being said, let's fast forward to where I was right around college. And I said, Mike, I think I want to do, it was actually like a movie. I was like, Mike, I want to write original music, but I'm going to Italy now. And when I come back, I want to hit the ground running. You remember that conversation? Yeah. And then after that, the rest was history. We started the process that is Cat Matthews. Now, if I never said it before, I'm going to say it now. There would be no Cat Matthews without Mike here. And that's the truth. It was a full collaborative process. And it would never have got off the ground if it wasn't for that true faith and passion for music that we had at that slight period of time. When we sat in that basement, we felt like we were doing like God's work. Yeah. It felt real. Like and I don't know if anyone's ever felt that, but every song felt good. Every lick felt good. Everything felt like magic, like lightning in a bottle. And that is the memory that I remember the most, is coming up with like a lick for a song and then building a song over. Are you giving me some real life experience feelings and me putting it on paper into a song? Like, I remember all those moments.
Yeah.
And that's when it was truly fun. And that's when things truly happen. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Everything happens because of other circumstances. Me getting screwed over by other chicks in the past, Mike getting screwed over by chicks, family bothering us, angst, wanting to do something, being trapped. All that fueled the entire beginning of our original music journey. And Mike was like the king of riffs. He wrote all the riffs. You didn't like doing words as much. You didn't even like singing at much.
Oh, I mean, first. I'm not a big singer myself.
He's good. I heard him before. He's shy. He's shy.
No, I mean, when you sing to yourself in the shower and you're like, oh, that fucking sounds like shit, that's kind of a sign. It's kind of a sign.
Yeah, you shouldn't not sound good in the shower. Everybody sounds good in the shower.
I've heard a lot of people sing in the shower. I mean, it's crazy.
How did you? Can you elaborate on that?
I don't know.
Is that why you got kicked out of Planet Fitness?
Shit happens sometimes, you know? Everyone's got their own thing.
Don't kink shame me now in front of all these people.
In front of myself watching this, and if you
in the shower tomorrow, you're gonna make me feel guilty.
I just never thought I was a good singer. I mean, hasn't really been my first thing I've been trying to, make better in life. I like instruments more. I tried to learn a lot of instruments, but never singing. I mean, sure, if I put the time in and I learned all the singing lessons and stuff like that, I'm sure I could make something sound good. But fuck that.
That was his take, and we love him for it, and that's why it worked so well. Nothing happens on its own. Mike would not want to sing, and then one day he'd have this riff, and that riff would spark the entire song. Like, for example, I remember "Ruin Me" was you speaking about an incident, and me with a notebook in your room, and you had the little lick, that the little slide on the G, and that shaped everything. The whole song came out in like a day. Came out in the one setting.
Yeah.
And all we had was like maybe a crude recording on our phone, but then we bring that to the studio, and that's the first song we brought to Jenks.
That is,
and he made it amazing. Now, I was a little hard on Mike. I was like an older brother. I'm like I'm a month older than you. So I acted like an older brother, and I was like, Mike, you need to sing. I like forced him to sing, and he did sing on that song.
I did sing.
You were the backups in that song, and
but
you know
what? It solidified it even more to the fact that I heard how much Jenks edited my voice to make it sound on key. I'm like, all right, I could do everything else, just like I don't want to sing. I don't want to do it.
And I think that's what's hard to accept. Some people are able to do what they're able to do, and you don't want to push them to do more than that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we maybe went wrong. We thought we had to be everything. When you think you could be everything, nothing really works. And for me, it's hard, and you probably know this too, to be the album artist, to be the publisher, to be the one that distributes all the music, the one that talks. It's hard to do all that and write music. And that's why things are hard. And back in the day, it wasn't quite that hard. Motley Crue just had to show up and not be too drunk, and that was it.
Yeah.
They didn't have to worry about the dates and the sales and all that. Nowadays, you got to worry about everything. And it was too much pressure. And once it became too much pressure, it kind of fizzled. And that's when you stopped doing music with me at the time. And that was a sad time.
It was definitely a different road I went on. I went more into, all right, I need money. I need a job. I need to pay bills and stuff like that. So I just took that road and kind of left everything behind. But I mean, obviously you don't lose everything.
No.
I sent him riffs here and there, and I'm like, use this, use that, use this. So
you never lose everything. And Mike just accepted earlier what I have accepted later, because I tried to prolong the inevitable, that money really does come to the front of priorities.
Rules the world, and you can see it in time to time. We'll talk about it probably later about how government works, but it rules the world.
It does.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Now, he was always a realist. He was always a realist, and I will give you that always. You always understood. I was like the dreamer. I was like the fucking pipe dream guy that thought we were actually gonna, tour and open for probably Aerosmith or something. But it's good to be a dreamer, but it's also good to be realistic. And Mike was very realistic, and he ended up getting some jobs and getting ahead. I still held out with music probably until a couple months ago, and now I'm like, oh, maybe I should get a job. Am I still dressed up as a cowboy in the basement? Yes.
That's all right.
Yes.
I guarantee you there's probably 10 people in this town that we live in, that we grew up with, that are doing way crazier things in their basement than us right
now. So Mike went his own way. I went my own way. I put out a couple more albums. I went through the most depressed state of my life, came out with that Runaway State of Mind album. Then Midnight Therapy came out. We did a music video. Around the same time, Runaway State of Mind, I got in a serious relationship with Christy, who we love. And then I sort of settled down. And it's not that I want to say that settling down made me this way. The world made me this way, to see how corrupt the industries are and to see what rises to the top and what gets stuck at the bottom. That kind of happened. Maybe Christy helped show me the reality. that you knew a while ago and other people knew a while ago. And I remember your dad bringing up daddy again. He said this to us once. He was like, who said that your passion has to be your job? Yeah. And at the time, we were like, what the fuck do you mean? Of course it has to be your job. But now, a little bit older, I kind of realized it doesn't.
He said that to me so many times, and I took it for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, he is right, but at the same time, how cool would it be to have a job that's also your passion? And it's like, at the same time, it's like killing your dreams.
Yeah.
Nobody wants your dreams to be killed. Not saying that he did. You might have.
We love you. We love you, Daddy.
But at the same time, it's more realistic to the point where it's like the music industry right now is fucked. I mean, the Island Boys? Are you fucking kidding me?
They're good.
Talented.
They're good.
And that's who's getting the spotlight. You're not going to get someone who puts like hard time into it.
I know.
So might as well slave away.
I think Daddy was trying to spare us. I think Daddy knew that.
Yeah.
I think he knew that you find what you love and you let it destroy you. And if your job was music, you might end up hating music because it's your job. Jobs suck. That's why they pay you to do them. Yeah. I feel like it wouldn't be us in the basement writing our feelings. It would be a job. We have this date. We have that date. We got to do this. And it would become annoying. You know, I said this on the show before. You know what happens to Elvis, yet we all still want to be Elvis. Why is that?
Yeah.
He dies on the toilet, kind of fat.
Yeah, but he dies on the toilet rich.
Yeah, but
that's the goal.
I know, but I heard he was half poop.
I don't give a shit if it was full poop, half poop, or quarter poop.
You would care if somebody had to wipe the turtle head poking out of his cheeks.
With millions of dollars.
Yeah, but what did that do? Pay for his funeral?
More than that. That paved away his children and his children's children for life. Did you ever go to his house in Memphis?
I have not been to Graceland. I've not. Was there a little poop in the toilet? Be honest.
Well, I'm pretty sure it happened upstairs. You're not allowed to go upstairs.
Because there's a turd in that toilet. You could pay extra to see the turd. I saw it.
You were there?
No, I saw a picture of the turd. Leaked. Live leak.
Moving on.
Night Moves.
Bob Seger?
Did Bob Seger only write songs about shit? Remember that one song, Night
Hollywood
Moves?
Nights.
But you remember, he had Night Moves, and then he had On the Throne Again. Remember that one?
On the Road Again. That's a different song.
No, check the lyrics.
All right. Anyway.
So anyways, we all get there eventually. Me and Mike are going to write songs again one day. But I don't think it's going to be for the same reason. I think it's going to be for leisure and for fun, which is what life should be about. When you're young, you think that everything means everything. And that's the problem. If you could have the worldview of an 80-year-old at 15, you could rule the world. But you can't. That's the problem. Back then, we had nothing to worry about, and it was only about rock and roll. We literally got to live out an 80s kid's dream in the 2000s, which I'm happy for. Yeah. I really am. I wouldn't change anything, to be honest. We were public menaces, and all we cared about was just writing music. And that's a good way to grow up. I'm telling you, it's better than chicken nuggies and an iPad. And I still stand by that. I believe that.
Definitely created me like who I am today. Mm-hmm. Like, not necessarily like no fear. Like, obviously, like if a fucking cougar comes at me right now, I'm gonna be shitting my pants.
Like a woman that's older?
Yeah.
I thought you would like that.
I meant more like in the fact that like.
Well, you meant the predatory animal, feline.
Yeah.
All right.
Sort of. Okay. I meant more in the fact that like most of like my friends or close people, like if they're in a public situation, they'd be like not fearful, but just like awkward, and it's like. I'm stone solid. This is my norm.
Yeah.
This is my norm, and I love it.
Mike does not care what people think.
No. Why would I?
And that's the one thing we always loved about Mike. That's why we're always friends. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. We weren't like good friends. Like, good friends are like, and I don't think there's such thing as a good friend, where it's like you were always supportive, and it's like the Hallmark Channel. We were assholes to each other. Like, all of us. Our group was assholes to each other to the max. And I think that's what made us actually friends. That's a different dynamic between women and men. Women talk very nice to each other, and then behind their backs they talk shit. We talk shit to each other, to each other's faces, and then we're like, well, we couldn't live without that guy behind closed doors. That's the difference, and that's probably for a lot of you out there. So women, just be more upfront. That's my advice.
They can't do that.
They can't. With that being said, we still have that, like, I feel like 15-year-old self inside of us that loves classic rock. And you hit me up talking about that top 10 list I brought up on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Now, a couple podcasts ago, either.
Yes.
Actually. You agreed with some, you didn't agree with others. Do you think it's possible to pinpoint a top 10?
No, there's no way you could, because no matter who talks about a top 10 list, there's always going to be their opinion in it. Always. And I'm sorry, don't get me wrong. He said Journey. I don't know if Journey would make it for me.
That's fair.
But that's my opinion, and that's his opinion. Everyone could kind of maybe get 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But a top 10 is too much.
Now, I understand everybody has opinions, but are some opinions better than others? That's the thing. Like, can I back up an opinion?
Well, if somebody came up to me and they're like, Lizzo, Trippie Redd, Lil Wayne, I'd be like, get the fuck out.
Like, would you say to each his own? No, you'd say you're wrong, right? Some opinions can be wrong, right?
I don't know. They might feel like they're the best artists in the world, but give it a couple years from now, they're going to drop off the face of the earth. You have bands that are still relevant to this day.
Like Journey.
Journey, if you want to say top 10 songs, I'd put Journey in there. Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah, I mean,
you won't find any age group not singing that song.
I know.
But top 10 bands of all time, you have to put so much other into perspective. They have to have multiple hits, multiple generations knowing them. The sound has to be good. You can't put like, what's that one band you like with the guy goes, My Name is Mud, that guy?
Primus.
You can't put Primus in there.
They're up there, dude.
Someone's going to be watching this like, Primus number 1.
If you like Primus, please comment. So with that being said, let's say that it is to each his own, and we really can't pinpoint a 10, but if you wanted my opinion, you heard it. I think Journey and Kiss should be on there. If you disagree, you have a constitutional right, freedom of speech, to disagree, as long as you could pose an argument that's better than mine. And I don't think you could. And your argument...
Kiss, yeah.
Kiss should be there. But are they the most musically talented? No.
No. But what they did for rock in general, and how they, like... They sold it, basically. They sold it in every way, shape, or form. The camera that we're using right now would be Kiss. This light would be Kiss. This would be Kiss.
Yeah.
Our beers would be Kiss. Me and Matt would Kiss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You and me met Ace Frehley from Kiss.
I wouldn't say met.
No, we met. You bumped bellies. We
forced it.
You bumped bellies.
We forced it.
You and him rubbed navels.
We kind of forced it.
We went to go see a show at the Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, shout out. And we pre-gamed pretty hard. Yeah. And then we saw this horrendous band. What were they called? What was the opener?
Don't remember.
It was terrible. They had this song called Japanese.
Yes.
You can look it up. They're called it's a dumb name. I bought one of their pins. I don't know why. I can tell you why, because we pre-gamed too hard.
Too much, too.
Uh-huh. And then we saw Ace Frehley. And then at the end, I said, Mike, let's get the hell out of here and go to the dressing room. And we did. And no one caught us. And we waited down there. And there was a bathroom when we went in it. Me and our other friend left. Mike stayed. And then when he came out, he bumped bellies with Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
It's a true story.
Then we went to this dressing room.
And I was in there. And I said, we were the help. We're the maids.
I remember you saying, you're like, can we just talk to Ace for a minute? I remember Ace wasn't he eating? He was eating dinner.
He was eating
dinner at the table. Slog. I remember his manager or something came out. He's like, you guys need to leave. And I'm like, guy's eating his vodka, penny vodka over there.
I think it was eggplant rollatini. It looked like eggplant rollatini.
Fucking Italians.
Yeah, I think he's Jewish. Is he the only not Jew one? They're all Jewish. Like Stanley Eisman, Chaim Weitz, so Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons. I don't know about Peter Criss. Peter Criss doesn't sound Jewish, but he could.
No one wants to be Peter Criss.
Not even Peter Criss wants to be Peter Criss. Ace Frehley, I don't know if he's Jewish, but I think he was from New York, so he might have been Jewish.
That's why I just said Italian. They're all Italian.
Italian and Jew are close.
Unfortunately.
Similar people. I'm Italian. You hate them. Your mom's Italian, full-blooded.
She says that, but
she's also a gifted guitar player. Lori, I love you. Mike got all he knows from you.
Sure.
I met Ace Frehley, and that's something to be proud of, just so you know. something to be proud of to meet Ace Frehley. Not everybody meets Ace Frehley, and he was one of the best guitar players of all time, whether you like it or not. He's on the list.
No.
He's on the top 20.
He ain't on the fucking list. Don't even start.
Dude, the licks,
not on the
licks, the flames.
The only thing that guy did ever good was put a fucking smoke bomb in his fucking humbucker to make it smoke like he was fucking burning the guitar on fire. That's the only thing he did cool. Ever.
What?
Period.
Those licks, dude. Love Gun, all that. It was awesome. Gene Simmons bought the band.
If I were in that shit when I was 14 years old, it wasn't that good.
Come on, bro.
No.
Well, then you better shit on Guns N' Roses because you know how to play Slash, too.
Guns N' Roses, Slash would not be in my top 10 guitar players.
Really?
He would not.
As much as I love him, too.
I love him because of my fingers. He has small fingers. I have small fingers. That means I can play his music better. That's the only reason why I love his playing compared to others.
You got those stubbies.
Thanks, Mom.
Hey, women. Just so you know. Just saying. We're going to get into some current events here with Mike because I want to get Mike's opinion as he gets bushed up.
It's already there.
So, Mike, as far as I know, you're very liberal. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably saw Biden's farewell address. You know,
I loved it every moment.
He did say some things that bothered me, so I want to talk to the audience and tell them, and you can tell me if it bothered you. Right. He said that now usually when you're turning over to a new administration, you want to kind of keep peace and say, let's be optimistic of the new administration. This guy kind of did a little bit of fear-mongering, it seemed like. He kind of got everybody all worried. He said, I'm warning you of an oligarchy, which is like the wealthy ruling class taking over. And then he also said that he was giving a critique of the tech industrial complex, which is a term I never heard. I knew the military industrial complex, which is a very real thing. He made this tech one up, and I think it has something to do with Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk both highly endorsing Trump as of recent.
Yeah.
That bothers me a little because he's mad that the owner of X and Facebook like Trump, but he's not acknowledging that his administration only fueled the military industrial complex that's actually killing people every day.
Yeah.
Is that not odd?
It's odd in the sense, like, of, you know, Daddy Biden is not someone to be feared.
No.
He's telling the truth when he says to watch out for these people because they could really ruin your life, you know. They could take away your studies and your feelings, maybe, in a sense. But I don't know.
Can they take away your life, though? That's the thing. The military industrial complex could.
You can have a heartache so bad because you have your feelings hurt that you could pass away.
And I've known some women that have died of that.
Anna Frank.
Anna?
Yeah. Anna, you okay from Smooth Criminal?
So you're obviously being a little sarcastic.
I don't know.
The cat's out of the bag. Mike isn't really a liberal.
I'm not.
Okay? But Daddy is.
Daddy is a liberal because the TV told him to, in a way, and economically. And sure, I see his point to some extent.
I'm telling you, both parties, if you want to bring it down to parties, make great points. I don't disagree with anything they really say. Like
I'm in the middle myself, but if
we are middle,
pick the worst of the worst, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. They really didn't leave any meat on the bone this time around. The guy was he dropped out of a race that's never happened before. Ever.
Forced to drop.
Yeah, he was forced in the middle of the night. You're out. Kamala's in. She didn't even know. She didn't even want to be in, probably, and it was just a mess. But regardless of all that, you heard this all before. Let's get to the new stuff. For him to bring that fear to the table with 3 days left is a little dirty to me. I feel like it's odd.
He's just saving his ass.
I suppose he is, but to say you need to be afraid of these things, but not afraid of these other things, like you should worry about the tech industrial complex, but not the military industrial complex, that we're funding these wars, that we have to have regime change in Russia, that we have to fund Israel no matter what.
Yeah.
To be like that is an odd message. We're going to watch out for Facebook.
Mark Zuckerberg came out with that stuff, and as a liberal, like maybe listening to that, they'd be like, oh, fuck, maybe our side is corrupt. So he had to kind of pave his way to saying like, oh, that's not really how it is. So you gotta say that bullshit that some guy wrote from 2 minutes before he passed out for his 3 p.m. nappy.
Yep. And like it's funny now because like I said, if you know, we have no allegiance to any side. I definitely have no allegiance to any side, so I'll shit on everybody.
Basically, yeah.
TikTok might get banned in 2 days. And I find that so funny because it's like we don't want China having our information, but the American social medias could. Like, it's fine if X steals everything or if Meta steals everything, but we can't have TikTok stealing everything. Is that not a little corrupt?
I'd rather have China have my information than the United States government. That's for damn sure. Not like I'm saying I'm some communist, stuff like that, but China can't do shit with that information, but the U.S. government could. And I don't trust the U.S. government. I don't trust China. But China's across the fucking planet. You know, the government's in our backyard.
For now. And honestly, if any government had to take over, China will be kind of good. They're very organized. I don't know. I kind of like them.
They're stupid.
If you'd like to endorse this podcast and you're a Chinese national, please contact me.
I'm an American first, no matter what. But if I'm going to have some... Like, the CIA should be watching Americans, civilians more than other countries. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't like do your due diligence and find out who is bad in this country. Don't be watching everybody else. I don't like that. I don't like Big Brother.
I don't like Big Brother either.
I don't like how they talk about buying a swing set and now I got ads for it on my fucking Facebook. I don't like that.
Yeah, like the one day, I remember you specifically, you were like, hey, Matt, did you ever think Garfield the cat wasn't all that bad looking? Remember you said that to me?
Plenty of times.
And then the next night, I was getting these explicit Garfield ads. And I was like, what's up? I said, what is up with that?
There's nothing better than dummy thick Garfield. Trust me.
The shorts are we're going to have fun with the shorts on this one. The YouTube shorts are going to be epic on this one. I'm going to tell you that right now. So this is what irritates me when you kick sand or salt in the wound rather, and really insult the intelligence of the American people. Biden, after creating this controversy about Trump and creating a division further than he already did, he then went on to talk about his achievements.
Which one?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, and please comment me to hell if he had some. I don't think he did anything positive.
Trying to get $10,000 debt free to college,
but that never happened.
Well, I mean,
it never even happened, Mike.
It could have.
Yeah, but it didn't. What would 10 grand do anyways? We all owe like $250,000. 10 grand is like nothing.
If I'm paying taxes, if my money's going to the government, the last thing I want is for my generation's fucking kids to get their college paid for. I'm sorry.
You would rather you wouldn't want to pay our college, but you'd rather fund a forever war in the Middle East?
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Because if my mistakes or my choices in life aren't getting paid for by the government, yours shouldn't either.
Yeah, like Mike's argument is like Mohegan Sun, Baccarat.
Yeah.
Like, where's my debt relief?
My casino debt isn't paid, your college debt should not be paid.
And honestly, in today's standards, you losing $10K on Baccarat is pretty much like taking a class at a university.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same price.
I get all that information on TikTok.
Not for long.
You guys read books and all that shit. I get it on TikTok.
All these dummies reading books.
You get it for free. They're stupid for going to college.
You should listen to the Rizzler.
He's a fine class man.
He's a good man. But Biden's achievements, I don't know if there were any. I do know some negative things, and they're just little things, but let's talk. The Afghanistan withdrawal was not the best.
That was Vietnam too.
Yeah, the border, we let, 10, 20 million undocumented
good
people.
Citizens, good working citizens over.
Yeah, with no plan or nowhere to go or no housing or anything like that. The wars aren't the best either. So, let's think about what happened in these past 4 years to reflect back fondly on these 4 years. We got the, Israel-Palestine conflict. We have the Russia-Ukraine one still going. I thought it was going to be over very soon. No, that one's still going up. Syria's getting involved. You have China still trying to get Taiwan in the shadows. I'm not talking about that. All these wars, and all we've done is sent money over there not for help, but for bombs and weaponry.
Yeah.
And then you hear things like, we need regime change in Russia. What? Are we just starting up the Cold War again? Do we want it to be a hot war? If it is, who's going to go? If you draft us, imagine us on the front lines. You really think we're like the greatest generation? Not trying to be rude, but it's over. And if China knows anything from all the information they stole from TikTok, they should know that we're not them. Those kids, those kindergartners know algebra. We don't know algebra.
I've never even used math other than addition and subtraction since I've graduated high school. I mean, granted, I didn't go to college, but I don't know. Have you used anything algebra? Or
maybe like 4 times.
I'm sure if you're a scientist and you're trying to figure out crazy stuff, I'm sure
we have AI now.
That's true.
We don't need scientists.
I don't think they were, like knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, you know who else didn't know? The horseshoer didn't know the Model T was coming out. And you know what happened to him? He couldn't feed his family, and he died.
Makes a damn good fucking backyard game, though. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, horseshoe. Yeah, your whole career is a fun drunk game now.
I love it.
That horseshoer. We said, hey, we'll buy them off you. You will? Yeah, to throw at a stick at my barbecue. And he went, oh, I wish you hadn't told me that. And that's the truth. Adapt or die. We don't need math anymore. We have robots.
Yeah. For
a couple years till they take us over and kill us. Anywho, Biden didn't do a great job, and I'm sticking by that. That speech was kind of mid, kind of lame. Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.
Yeah, have fun. I don't know what he's going to do, but have fun. Anyways, you and me experienced COVID at the same time. We were buddies around COVID.
Yeah.
We were recording. We went in the studio for the first time during COVID. At Joe Loftus, shout out underneath Magden, and that was one of the best experiences of our life. Your mom wanted to be there. She showed up and did not sing backup since she said she was going to. I still hold it to that.
My mom did that a lot.
When I did that Oliver Anthony cover, I went over to borrow her guitar.
Yeah.
The Resonator, the Rizzler, and she was like, play me something. And I was like, all right, and I did, and I think she fell asleep. Thank you for letting me borrow the guitar, Lori, though. It was nice for the album art and for the album.
Thanks, Mom.
Everybody got mad at me for covering that song. Like, it's too early. You covered it too early. Let him have his moment. Now everybody hates that guy.
Yeah, because the guy turned out to be a dirtball.
He was a dirtball. I'm not. I just made the song cool.
Yeah, give me some time.
Give me time to mess up.
Yeah, really.
Give me time to mess up. Give me my chance and I will blow it. Let me be famous and I promise you I'm going to blow it. So just let me have it, though, so I could say, let me be the bum with the shopping cart that says, I used to be Cat Matthews. Now give me $5. I need tuna.
Tuna's not bad.
Tuna's awesome.
A lot of people, a lot of people our generation don't like tuna.
You know why?
Why?
Because the mercury is killing people. That's RFK Jr. Was that a pretty good RFK Jr.?
Mercury than avocado toast.
The Fruit Loops are killing people. It's killing them.
Who said that?
RFK Jr.
His family's dead. Anyway.
Yeah, he's banning the red dye. Did you see that? He's banning the red dye. It's already happening. As of today, they banned a couple red dyes. I don't know if they banned the red 40, but they banned the red 3 or something. So Fruit Loops are going to be slightly less vibrant. Are you mad at that? I
think, surprisingly, I haven't eaten Fruit Loops in a long time.
You know that bright red fruit roll-up? It's going to be like an off pink now.
Another thing, I don't.
It's going to be an off pink.
In a long time.
Is that okay that it's like an off pink now?
I could give a shit less what color it is.
I care a lot.
I'll go to the same place.
I care a lot, actually. Now, through teaching, when I was teaching at the they would give me these notes like, you can't have these fruit snacks because there's red dye in it. And he's like, if you did, he'll have this allergic reaction. That's probably not good to have these chemicals in foods that cause kids to like almost die. That's probably not a good thing. So I'm kind of okay with banning the red dye. If Gatorade is not as vibrant, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think we could sacrifice that. Just don't get rid of the Little Debbies. Little Debbies are a fan of the show.
Those fucking Christmas cakes you were talking about.
I'm a fan of those. I'm a fan. They're a fan of the show. I'm waiting for the Little Debbie endorsement any day now.
I'd rather drink pool water than eat one of those fucking things.
Your pool water always had farts in it. You used to rip. You used to rip in the pool. Remember that?
Like a jet ski?
No, like ass. You would rip ass.
How would you know?
I would smell it. I'd play Marco Polo and I'd say, what is this?
I think we played Marco Polo.
We played Marco Polo and I was like, that is rotten eggs. I remember that day. Remember that?
Can't say I did.
Yeah. Well, I do. Tell us about what you're up to now. So Mike went on a different path. He's doing some interesting things now. I want to get his perspective on it. You are a hunter and a fisherman now.
Yeah.
A fisherman now. Would you say that?
Fishing I kind of always did, but I kind of stopped for a while.
Are you hunting, fishing, loving every day?
Luke Bryan. Hell yeah.
You drinking a beer? Tell me what, because I didn't get to hear much about this part of your life. I want to hear it now, and our audience wants to hear it. Tell me what that did for you with your well-being. You and me both suffered with the anxiety, depression throughout our lives, and we're open about it. Do you feel that has helped your mental state? And if so, please tell us how.
1000%. And I thought about it today. I'm like, the only way you can kind of explain it, it's the most peaceful, violent thing you could ever do in your life.
That's good.
It's true. I've never felt more alive and more peaceful, more at home, more relaxed than doing that. I don't give a shit how cold it is. And my friends that I go with will probably tell you how annoying I will be to figure out when we're going, what's the plan, because I want to make sure we're doing it. Because the way I feel in that moment, it's like, I even tell them I don't give a shit. I mean, I don't care if we see anything.
Yeah.
Just being out in the middle of the fucking woods or in the middle of a cornfield or whatever where we're at. It's just so relaxing. I'd rather be doing that 10 times out of 10 than staying home. 10 times out of 10.
What does it do for you? Does it like humble you? Would you say, does it ground you to your human experience here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It kind of does teach a lot in a sense. Teaches you to definitely be thankful for certain things and stuff like that. But I mean, definitely if you're like a little schizo sitting at home watching Skibbity Toilet on your fucking phone all day, that'll wipe it right clean, and you'll come to senses with, I don't want to say God because I'm not a religious, really.
But you do want to say God, kind of.
Kind of. It makes you feel at home. That's the only way I can explain it. At home. Makes you feel at peace.
I like that.
And like I said, the most violent yet peaceful thing I've ever done in my life.
Do you think it kind of unlocked certain parts of you that needed to be woken up but weren't?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so maybe before that, the mundane life of our modern society, going to work, going to school, feeling inadequate, feeling self-image.
Yeah.
That was kind of erased once you were set with the great equalizer, which is Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Who's going to survive and how? Do you feel that in a way when you hunt?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you think that bettered your life for the good?
I don't want to say, because people are going to take this thing and be like, oh, like killing animals betters your life.
Okay.
It's not just that, because it's the days that we don't see anything too. It's like I still get it. I still get that feeling. I still feel that relaxation. I mean, yeah, I could just go sit in the woods, but I mean,
no, there has to be something at stake. Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't understand, and this is why I always say, if you don't understand it, maybe take your college education and go watch The Lion King and see what Mufasa really said. And if you understand, I always bring this up, Disney told us from the start. That's why our generation was a little different.
Yeah.
He said, circle of life. He goes, what do you mean? The Simba's like, what do you mean? Like, we eat antelopes. He's like, yeah, but my body's going to rot one day and become the grass, and the antelope's going to eat that. It's a cycle here, man. You're part of it. Don't think just because we wear ties and drive cars and have houses that we're not part of this. We're just mistaken that we're not. And we lie to ourselves every day that this isn't a survival ecosystem that we're in. We got better at surviving, but when it comes down to it, there's a fire in you that needs to be tended to. And if it doesn't, that's when things go wrong. That natural instinct where you're in danger.
Yeah.
You need to get something. If you don't get this, there's no food, there's nothing. That triggers these old genes inside you. And I think that's what makes us feel alive. Purpose makes us feel alive. Going to work, we know we'll get some paper and we'll be able to buy another fucking yacht or buy our kid a Barbie doll or something. But when you say, if I don't get a deer, I'm dead. I'm going to die of starvation. That's a different thing.
I don't think I was worrying about that.
You were, dude. You were good. You're fine. I get it.
It's a different thing, though. I mean, it's some people are assholes in the hunting world, and my friends could tell you they've been doing it longer than me, obviously, and they know people that are assholes in the thing. But if you aren't trying to use every fucking bit of that animal, it's like, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it.
It's like the Native American style.
I love that.
So that's why I wanted to bring up Ted Nugent to you. Did you ever listen to Ted Nugent? He talks about, he also is a great musician. We love Nuge. We love Stranglehold. We love Cat Scratch Fever.
That's it.
But he's a hunter, and he talks about the spiritual aspect of hunting. Yeah. Like that you get everything from the animal, and that it's actually more humane to hunt than to just eat a Red Robin cheeseburger every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though they have endless fries. They have bottomless fries. You think, I'm humanitarian, but you're still biting into a fucking meat burger that you didn't earn. Yeah. Earning it has potential. Do you think the ends justify the means, that how you get to something matters?
In a way.
Okay.
In a way.
So eating that venison, does it taste a little better when you got it?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, when I go to McDonald's and I scarf down a McDouble before I even leave the lot, I don't feel any gratification. I don't.
No.
I feel nothing.
I mean, you shouldn't.
I feel a little shame.
That happens to everybody, I guess.
That's everyone, though.
Yeah.
That's everyone, though. We've all been there. But I feel like hunting gives you fulfillment because the ends justify the means. I always say, you steal $50 off an old lady or you work for $1 an hour in a coal mine, those are going to feel very different.
Which one's more easier, though, you know?
Stealing from the old lady, obviously. But you're going to be a little sad about it. You're going to say, I feel kind of... Some people...
Depends on who that old lady is. If it's like Nancy Pelosi, fuck them.
Yeah.
Take what you can get.
Remember that man tried to kill her husband with a hammer? So you're hunting and fishing now, and it's bringing you some purpose, getting you closer to God, let's say, but not religion. Because religion is very flawed and God is very universal. We all talk to God eventually. Your job now, you're driving. Is that right?
Yes. Driving. Yeah, I drive.
Has that brought you any joy? Are you happy with your job?
In the sense that I'm good at it. I'm very good at it. I haven't been in an accident yet.
You were always the best driver, Mike.
I could predict things before it happened. I am That's So Raven behind the driver's seat in any conditions.
You thought she was hot back in the day, right?
She was nice.
Yeah, she was not bad.
What happened to her?
She went on The View.
Oh!
She turned into one of those. So you like driving. That's good. That's good. We haven't been in great contact with our old original group of friends. And I don't think you should. I think as you get older, you should spread out. Now, you found some friends that have similar interests. Some people, they go in the corporate world and they're friends with their coworkers. But at the end of the day, you're always still friends with your childhood friends. Like, I think that always stands true. Even if you don't spend every waking moment with them, you're still got that bond. Now, our great friend is Eric, who's been on the show. Eric's doing a different lifestyle than us. He's in Florida. We don't even know what's going on. We don't know if he had a hurricane or anything like that. But we don't have those up here. We just have bitter, freezing cold. That's it. We don't have hurricanes. We don't have wildfires either.
Hurricane Sandy came up here.
Yeah?
I remember they posted a picture. It was like a chair that got knocked over, and it's like, we survived Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah.
The chair knocked over in the yard.
But Eric's been on the show. We got a couple other friends in that group, but they don't really, we don't really keep in touch. I wish we would, but we don't. But with that friend group, we, as you know, wrote an entire show about it.
You did.
And as I said with Eric, Beverly, your character is Barry in that show. You are the main character in that show.
I thought that was Eric.
No, Eric is Ferguson. You are Barry.
I don't resemble him at all.
You don't resemble him that much. Only slightly. Only slightly. But with that being said, do you think it's worth anything, or is it just the mundane life of everyone else that we were able to come up with something like that?
I think it's worth it.
Our day-to-day lives were so entertaining. I don't think the audience knows. Every day was so entertaining that it was a TV show. It was worth a TV show to us. And we did have pretty good lives. Thank God. Like, we really did live interesting lives.
I think that, and they'll never get it. Whoever's watching this will never get it. They'll never understand what we went through.
They won't.
And this is not a pity, by the way. I would do it nothing different. The close calls, the near-death experiences, the everything in between was just wild.
It was.
Wild.
It was.
And to
wild.
say half of that we did sober.
Yeah.
Is wild to say.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I hope people can understand it one day, but for it to be worth making a TV show, we wouldn't make a TV show about nothing. We're not that ignorant. These are notable things. Like, our lives were all so strange and intertwined. Like, even if we were, like, Mike, I don't go hunting with Mike. I could barely get up for work. I don't go hunting with Mike, but he's doing that. Eric's in Florida. All our other friends are doing other different things. We could pick up tomorrow like that because we had this bond. And the things that happened that should never have happened, only by weird fate that we all stuck together through all these years in some way, shape, or form, needed to be documented. And we thought the only way to do that was through this show. And hopefully people get to see it one day. But it really is more like a documentary. Like, it's not fake. It is kind of reality.
Truthfully, if this wasn't about real life experiences or real life people in a certain sense, I don't think I would have supported it. but if this becomes a thing, and if you're a viewer and you watch the show, if it becomes a thing, I hope it does. But if you watch it, just know that some of the things you're watching actually happened to us.
I'd say most. I'd say most.
I'd say, I know you had to change it a little bit, just so it didn't just full on get us, arrested. But I mean, some of those things was like, fucking hell. When you showed me the script that day, I'm like,
it is real.
I remember this like yesterday when this happened. Only like small things are changed, but you'll never know.
That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. You won't know what's actually real and what actually is fake. That's the thing. And that's why I hope it comes out one day. It might actually come out. We're talking with the guy now.
Who?
He's this man. I'm not going to say his name yet until he gives us a deal.
But you better fucking do it, dude.
He's thinking about it. We got to have a meeting with him. He already read the script. And he does some crazy stuff. He exports his animation over to India, though. That's kind of what's going on now.
I'm good.
I'm good with Indians. I love Indian people.
No, I mean, I don't want to do it.
Okay. Mike meant I'm good as in no. Okay.
No, I'm joking. I love them.
All right. What are you? Let's talk about what's your ethnicity? You're Italian, right? Your mom's Italian.
I am part Italian, yeah. Part Irish.
But you're mostly German.
Yeah.
He's a German.
From what I've seen on Ancestry.
Ancestry?
It could be, yeah.
You were on that one?
That explains a lot if it was.
I know. It really does. Mike is a German. We based a lot of our life.
I think I get most of my brain from, if that makes sense. That's kind of fucked up if you think about it because of their history.
They don't have the greatest. I mean, it's kind of like 1930 to 45 was rough.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was kind of nice. They had the Lederhosens, the blonde girls, the beer. Like, it was nice. Other than 1930 to 45.
What were they doing there?
They were doing things. They did things that weren't the best. And if you want to do your own research, we're not history class. You can look it up on your own, but it wasn't the best. But to circle back, that's where the Annie Frank, like you said, comes from. Our chickens got murdered, and when we had the rooster before they got murdered, we called him Hen Frank.
Oh.
Because we thought he was a hen, but he was really a woman. Or a man, rather. He was a man chicken. Yeah. But we were harboring up there in the hen house, so we didn't get caught by the
What do you think killed them, by the way?
It was probably a coyote or a fisher. Or maybe even a raccoon. Maybe I think a fisher cat.
I think a raccoon would do that.
Fisher cat.
Fisher cat.
Yeah, probably fisher cat. They're around here, by the way. But anyways, with that being said, we're gonna circle back to last minute thoughts. How do you feel now at the ripe old age of 26? As we get older, I think we have more room in our hearts for, let's say, forgiveness and empathy and understanding. I don't know why that is. I feel like we're like the Grinch on the mountain that's feeling for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever feel that way, but I do sometimes. I'm like, what is this?
100%.
I'm like, what is this?
Things, yeah.
I'm like, what is this? I don't know why I care about that, but I do. It's weird. And that happens. I don't know. Maybe it's part of the human experience. If you knew us back in the day when we were talking, we had none of that. We didn't care about anything. And it's odd to see that happen with someone you've known this long. And I think it is just a universal thing. As you get older, if you're blessed to live long enough, you eventually start to forgive. I don't know what that is, but it is real. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So if you're listening, you could make whatever you want out of that and consider it a therapy session. Venmo me the $100.
Do I get half at least?
You get 25%. I
See what I mean? Always a shyster to the day dies.
I feel like 25% is fair. 25% is fair. So let's end the show on your thoughts on the world as a whole.
All right.
Let's talk about society. And I'm going to get into this very simple. Do you think society is heading in a good direction?
No.
Now let's talk about why. Morality.
Truthfully?
Let's see. Does it exist?
I think the electronics fucked everybody up.
How so?
Everything. These things right here.
What is
that? We're
that?
done for.
It's an iPhone.
You don't know what that is?
What did that do?
Screwed everybody up.
Now, is it now here's my only argument, though. Like the gun doesn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Does the phone screw you up or does the user screw you up? I feel like...
Yeah, but it's like a gun that was like designed to like tell you to kill yourself.
So it's a more malicious tool, but it is still a tool that the user must use.
Oh, yeah.
And uses willingly, right? We
all
use it willingly. So who are we to blame? Is the phone anything without us?
I blame and me and my father have this conversation all the time. He always blames our generation for shit like that or shit like this, Facebook, stuff like that. I'm like, you're right. We're horrible. We're horrible. But that's something your generation created. You guys created it. We just embraced it.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks. But what are you going to do? This is the cards that we were dealt, and what do you want? Either you win or lose.
Now, that makes me kind of sad, though. Like, is it that our entire species, through all we went through since the dawn of time, we're able to be completely destroyed by this one tool of technology? Is that not a reflection of us? I think it might be. Are we just evil, like classless, no couth? Or is that like our natural state? Like Adam and Eve, let's go back to that story. Like, she still always wanted what she couldn't have, the one thing. Like, is that our default? That we always want more, and they're always greedy, and that we always fuck people over?
That's 100% going to be what we always want.
So I think the phone just accelerated it.
There's going to be something worse than this one day.
There will be.
100%.
Probably soon.
Probably soon. And our kids are going to be dealing with it. Our generation is going to create it, and our kids will be dealing with it.
Now, does that tell you something about the technology, or does that tell you something about us? Maybe it's us.
Something about humans, period.
So maybe humans are at fault.
Yeah.
What do you have bad to say about humans?
Pretty much everything. We are all animals, and I think we are the worst fucking animal on this planet. Period. Done.
Why is that?
I think we're horrible. Look at us. Obviously, I hunt, so I take... There is a life I am taking, but if I could throw it all away, and humans, in a sense, it's just the way. Look at how we're destroying land for a fucking Amazon warehouse. Look at behind here. You know what I mean? How many times are we gonna do that until animals go extinct? How many animals have become extinct from our fault? And as much as an animal lover as I am, I think we are the worst animal. Period.
And the only thing that a philosophical argument that would arise would be, does the pros outweigh the cons? Did what humans have to offer to life outweigh what we took away?
What do we have to offer?
Let's say medicine or technological advancements.
To ourselves?
To ourselves, but what about
greedy?
Let's say keeping records, like our languages and our health care that is flawed, but does save some dying children of cancer once in a while, and does give the kidney to the person in need once in a while. Like,
yeah, I agree with
those things. Does that outweigh all the bad we've done?
Nah, because there is cures for cancer out there. There's cures for AIDS out there. There's cures for every deadly disease, everything. But the government cannot make money if they're curing it and getting it to go away. How could they make money that way?
So
that's why we are the worst animal of all time.
But this is the question: who is we? Are we you and me, or not? You and
everybody,
I are not
everybody.
We're not the government. We're not.
It's not just the government; it's everybody. You don't think that? And this is something that you could call me a psychopath. That probably is true. If something were to happen where the current government goes away and we take over, you don't think eventually it turn back the way it is?
So you think like Stanford prison experiment, like they had half of the experimental group be the guards and half be the prisoners, and the guards within a day switched up.
Yeah.
You think that's our default? That we do?
We'll go right
this
back to
this is a great. I'm bringing Disney up twice tonight. Call me a Disney adult, I guess. With the Aladdin story, where the genie goes, they always get greedy. It's an unquenchable thirst. Like, you think you're going to free me, but that last wish will never be spent on me. You think you will wish me free, but you won't. Like,
Yeah.
Is that true? Or are we always just greedy? We always want more.
That's how we're programmed.
Now, has there ever been a time where a selfless deed has been done by humans? Like, have humans ever been good? Have we ever persevered even?
Oh, of course.
So does that make it worth it, though? Does that make it worth it?
It's a small percentage, though.
Even if it's 1%, does it make it worth it?
I don't think so.
No.
I really don't. Because, all right, like, say I work for 2 years straight, I save up all that money, and I donate it, I give it away. After those 2 years are up, I'm going to become greedy. You know what I mean? One person could do good for 1 year and then be greedy for the next 3, and they're like, "But I did good that last year."
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a hard topic, and everyone has their own opinions on it, but that's mine.
All right, so you got Mike's take on society slightly, and I'm going to bring that into something very important and personal. That's why this show is Midnight Therapy, because we are truly honest. You're not getting anything fabricated. We're being honest. And with that being said, I'm going to talk about something. Now, if it's not too much to ask, what is your personal opinion on, let's say, dating? Because you're not in a relationship, correct?
Yeah.
And why are you not in a relationship? Why would you say? Because I believe it's by your own constitution that you're not.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying like I could just go pull out a fucking supermodel out of the back of my hand and just date her.
I'm not saying that either.
For certain reasons.
But you could be in a relationship right now if you wanted to.
I've had opportunities. I just think it's tarnished. It's gone. There's no way.
Can you elaborate why?
That whole hookup culture, OnlyFans bullshit. I mean, come on. No morals anymore. No, nothing in the heart anymore. If you are someone that has a woman or someone who has a man who has morals and goals, and hold on to that, because you ain't gonna get it. It's hard. You can't find that shit anywhere.
So because it's hard to find, you gave up searching?
Gave up worrying about it. Gave up making it my goal. A lot of men our age make it their only goal to everything is about women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, you're brainwashed. It's like social media and Instagram and all that stuff just shoves it down your throat to make you seem like a piece of shit, to not like that in a way.
The only thing is, does it make it a little easier to go to work all day to come home to maybe a loving wife making a brisket?
Brisket's amazing.
So see what I'm saying?
Sure, that would make life a lot better. But if that loving wife comes home and makes you a brisket, and then I don't know, shows her whole body on OnlyFans to pay for that brisket, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
If she's
I don't think so.
In a joint bank account and that money's coming to me as well, yes. And no one to blame but you. You could be on OnlyFeet.
That's so ironic. I wish you knew. Anyway, regardless of the point, it's not worth it. No,
so the pros don't outweigh the cons with regards of a relationship.
No way.
So then here's what I wish to say. I think the reason why so many people cling to Christianity and Jesus Christ is the idea of redemption and forgiveness, that we are not perfect and that we do make errors here as a human. Are people redeemable? If you've lived a bad life and you were on the wrong track for a bit, are you able to turn it around? That's the question.
It depends.
And I think that's what's wrong with our society. We have a very easy-go-lucky, free spirit society that doesn't take into account the long term only the short-term gain. Now, I always say these OnlyFans models, they might make $100,000 a year, but for what? 4 years?
They're making millions.
But then what? What about when you don't make it anymore? Do you have a backup plan? That's the problem.
Try to find a husband as quick as possible. And no, I'm not gonna lie. They're gonna find someone.
They will.
They're gonna find someone.
There are people out there that don't.
That we graduated with that would be that one.
I know a lot.
I'd rather dip my balls in lava and die than do that. I'm sorry, but it's true.
That was actually poetic.
It is poetic justice.
That's going to go down in history with Robert Frost and Homer.
Simpson?
I would rather, no. Though, you're a very busy man. I don't see you often, but when I do see you, it is a pleasure. You are my best friend and brother. I will say that. Friendship never dies. If you think Mike's going to find a Hallmark woman, please comment. If you think he's correct on his assumption, please comment. Please fund the show. Please sponsor the show. This costs a lot of money to get Mike here. He's a very expensive guy to get. He's very busy. And he's very OCD, and he doesn't like doing things unless everything's planned. I had to get him a cab. I had to get him cigarettes. When he opened the cab, there was Marlboro Reds already packed with a Lucky and a white lighter.
Anyone who knows me, I don't flip a Lucky.
He doesn't flip a Lucky because he's very pessimistic.
I don't believe in that.
He doesn't believe in juju. He doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't believe in Hallmark Channel. No. And you should. Mike, if you have anything else, speaking out forever, hold your peace.
Eat your Wheaties.
Eat your Wheaties. Drink more Ovaltine.
Yes.
Believe it or not, everything you heard tonight was not even 5% of the surface we could have scratched. We could have went so much.
Or the truth in some aspects.
We have so much to say. You'll be on again for sure. It's about time you had your grand opening here. Mike is everything. Mike influenced the music. He influenced me as a person. He is one of my best friends and brothers in this life. He is Barry and Barry Barely. It says enough. He has the most interesting perspective, and if you can appreciate it, if you're able to appreciate it, you know that this is one of the best episodes ever. I really believe it.
Probably not.
Well, this is Mikey, and it's been a pleasure having you on. I love you, brother.
100%.
This episode is brought to you in part by, as always, Jack's Pub and Eatery, located in historic downtown Jessup, Pennsylvania. Best wings in town, best male bartender on Wednesdays. That guy is awesome.
Me.
And of course, you don't even come in. I wish you would. Of course, Mike the Barber at Three Saints Barbershop, located also in historic downtown Pennsylvania. I'm curious to see what he has to say about this episode. And have you ever connected with Mike the Barber?
I've never went. I've got my hair cut there a bunch of times, but I've never had him as a barber.
I'll get you in with him. I have some pull.
Huh?
And I want him to deep dive into you as well. He'll take you down rabbit holes you never want to go down, but
I love that.
You'll love it.
Let's hear it.
Jack's Pub and Eatery, Three Saints Barbershop. This is Mikey. This is Midnight Therapy. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being on this ride. And as always, stay curious, my friends. Good night.